really high energy group. It used to be study abroad, but you know, this group, I'm telling you, they outpace them. They're here on this campus to help get you paid, getting you prepared for your careers. It's the reason we all came to college, right?
Yes.
So please give them your full attention. They have hand-selected the things they want to present to you today. It's the beginning of a conversation, not the end. So I've got Dylan, I've got Jessica, and their boss, Amber, here to help you out with career services here. You see, completely free service for you on campus. You do not have to pay for this. It's amazing. So here you go. Right.
Great. With an intro like that, who needs a presentation?
Go, dilly, dilly.
So, hi everyone. My name is Dylan. I'm here in the middle, Dylan Green. I'm a career advisor with UCM Career Services. Like Chris was just saying, we're kind of here to talk about a little bit what we do, but we offer so much, it'd be hard to sit everybody down for 15 minutes and talk about everything. So we figured we'd kind of get a little bit more personal, talk a little bit more about what we can do, how we got to where we are, and why you all should care about coming to see us. So me personally, I did not go to undergrad here. I'm here as a graduate student getting my MA in history. I attended Culver Stockton College for my bachelor's degree. Anybody ever heard of that before? Couple hands, not a whole lot. It's like maybe up to 1,000 students now, so really getting up there with student population. When I was there, I did not use career services. We didn't really have a career services office like we do here. We had maybe one person who was there to help look at resumes, and that was about it. So I figured, you know, I'll be fine. I'll look up some templates online for how to do a resume. I should be set. And that led to the inevitable conclusion of me being a senior with no idea what I wanted to do. So I talked to my faculty, my greatest resource, and they were all like, yeah, so we look at a student like you, really well performing, and we see a graduate student. I said, okay, how does that happen? They said, okay. So they walked me through sort of the process of getting involved in a graduate program, where to go. And that was about it. They sort of let me at it to figure it all out. And because I didn't have an office to go to run over things like personal statements or applications or a good timeline in order to get applied, I ended up accepting a graduate student position over in Denver, University of Colorado, Denver. Denver is an awesome place, don't get me wrong, but all my family's here in the Midwest. Everything I've ever cared about is here in the Midwest. And so after a year of not being in a fulfilling program and not being related and close to the people that I really care about, I had to come back. And so I was in Denver, not doing the best mental health wise, and saying, okay, how do I get back to the people that I care about and the things that I care about? And so I got online and I found UCM, and UCM offered everything I wanted in a history program. So I'm like, okay, back in the Midwest, we're good to go. Now what? So I ended up coming here as a grad student first. I was a GA in history program. I don't know if any of you guys are y'all freshmen, sophomore, I think just freshmen? Okay, great. So you have no horror stories then of me being a GA in your history class. But if you take it with Dr. Taylor, I can help you out with that. I've still got all my notes. We'll figure it out together. And I recommend that too. That's the best class, but you didn't hear from me. So I was involved in that class for 2 years, and then I got an on-campus full-time position, and now I'm here just as of July. So I'm still learning everything there is to know about being a career advisor. I still have just as much to learn as any of you guys do about, you know, what goes into a resume. How do you make a resume tailored to a job description? How do you grow a network? You know, if I said, write a resume for me, okay, that's something you can do and we can work on it together. If I said, hey, would you do me a favor and network for me right now? That's a little bit more of an abstract term, right? And it's something that not everybody can approach dead on and say, okay, I'm gonna network today, or I'm gonna do this today. We're here to sort of help with that at every stage in your professional development. So like Chris said, we're here to help get you paid. That's a great way to wrap it up, sure. We're also here to make sure that you get involved in an industry that is going to be satisfying for you professionally and personally. Something that's going to meet your needs after you graduate and say, okay, now what? You know, we've got this sort of short timeline as college students to say, okay, I've got these maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 years sometimes to figure out what I want to do. And then once I get to graduation, I'm going to figure it out. And that does not work. It never ever works. So we're here to say, come on in and talk to us. We're going to figure out what's there after that graduation. What's there after that handshake with the president, you get a piece of paper and that now what? We're here to take care of that. So if it's help figuring out maybe an internship while you're here, or it's help getting a resume together. Maybe you have one, maybe you don't. either way, we're gonna make sure it's looking great in just a little while working together. What we need you to do is meet us halfway. So we're saying, hey, come on out, we wanna talk with you, we wanna get everything put together. You just have to come in and see us. And that could be just stopping in anytime. You could come in during our walk-in hours, which are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 1 to 3. Just say, hey, I wanted to talk with Dylan for a little while. He talked with us in trio. Let's figure out how we can get a conversation going. Awesome, I'd be glad to. Each of you have a different career advisor depending on your field, your major, which school you're in. And we can figure out who that contact person is for you and how you can start working towards that ultimate goal of success. Because we're all working towards success. So I've been rattling off for a little bit now. We kind of get an idea of what we can offer, my background as a career advisor and how much I've still got to learn. I'm gonna pass it off to really the pro in the office when it comes to presenting, showing people the ropes, making people feel good. And with an introduction like that, I think it's time to bring up Jessica Johnson.
I did write that
that'd be great.
Jessica Johnson is a career advisor and I'm awesome.
It's right there in the job description.
So like Dylan said, my name is Jessica Johnson. I have been with you at UCM since August of 2015. I'll kind of start back where, like from my beginning. So I am a first generation college student. My parents did not go to college. They had no idea how to help me with that process. They were along the ride with me for most of that. I started at Northwest. I was Northwest Missouri State, so I'm also not a UCM alum. And I didn't really take advantage of a lot of things my freshman year. I didn't get super involved. And then my sophomore year, I changed my major like, I want to say 6 or 7 times during my time at Northwest. And my sophomore year, I ended up getting a position on campus in the career services office. I don't know how I landed that job because my boss at the time was super scary. But I landed the interview, I did really well, she hired me. And I just became immersed into this career services world. I would tell my friends about it. I would go and I recruited we created a program called Career Ambassadors while I was there. And I recruited a lot of my friends to come work in the office and spread the word of why career services is so great. And so unlike Dylan, since, he kind of gave an example of not utilizing a career services office. So I was a student who actually did because I was immersed into it and I loved the office I worked for. But I ended up getting a job 3 months before I graduated. So I started searching for a job. I graduated in May, so I started searching in probably February, like early February. And I had a job by the end of the month. And they held the spot for me. They knew that I wasn't graduating until May, and they were fine with that. I probably applied to 30 or 40 different places, but I think because of the knowledge that I gained from career services and the experiences that I had with the people in the office and the employers I met and the networking I was able to do, it really helped me realize, wow, I need to start this early. So I can't stress enough that do not be the senior that waits till 2 weeks before graduation to come see us. I can pretty much guarantee you that you probably won't have a job before you graduate, which is the ultimate goal. You don't want to have that stress in your life of getting ready to walk across stage, get my paper, and not have something where you're excited that's your next step in life. And if it's grad school, well, let's get you started. Let's make sure that you already know come that next fall where you're going and where you're moving and what's that next step in life if you're going that direction. Another thing that I want to briefly talk to you guys about, he kind of touched on services, is the career readiness course. So we offer a really unique class designed to help you learn everything about yourself professionally. We talk about resumes, interviewing skills, professional dress, networking tips, so all like kind of the technical sides of career development, but also we talk about, like today in our class, we talked about professionalism and work ethic, and then kind of sort of like ethical type situations. We cover critically thinking and problem solving. We talk about teamwork and collaboration. We encompass everything that you need to know, and it's something that you get a credit hour for. It goes on your transcript. It's an easy A, I'll tell you that. If you just come to class and do the work, it's an easy A. And then you also can obtain a certification in career readiness. That makes you unique and makes you stand out. So when you go to talk to an employer or an interview, you can tell them, Hey, I took this really cool class called Career Readiness, it taught me a lot of things, or maybe you put it on your resume and they ask you about it, so you're able to bring that up, and that's a conversation starter. We've had employers tell us that that is a unique thing that they would love to see more on students' resumes and transcripts, so please think about taking the class, and if you have any questions, Dylan or I both would be happy to help. We co-teach this semester as he's training, and then in the spring, I will teach a section, he will teach a section. So if you have questions about that, please let us know. And then, like he said, I serve certain majors, so if you wanna know who your career advisor are, me and Dylan can help you with that. But without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to Duvall.
Okay.
Amber.
I am Amber Gorham, and I'm the director of the Career Services Center. And I'll tell you a little bit about my background and my story and who I am. So I actually grew up in the state of Texas, okay, and I was a bowler. Bowled my whole entire life. Started bowling at the age of 9, got into it really competitively, and I ended up getting a bowling scholarship to come here to UCM, okay? And I was also a first-generation college student. My parents did not go to college. My sister and I are 13 years apart, so I had a little bit of exposure to it because she did go to college and she got her degree in nursing. But outside of that, like, I didn't know a whole lot about the college experience and what I was doing and what courses to sign up for, and then kind of encompass that with, I went to school 10 hours away, right? So, I mean, I was up here by myself. My family was far away, and then I lost my dad my freshman year. Okay, so I came up here to school and made it through my first semester. I actually graduated high school early, so I graduated in December, and I came right to college in January. Never went through an orientation process, never did anything like that, really didn't know what to expect. Started college that January, was kind of unsure what I was going to do, really was just taking classes, really wasn't sure why I was taking the classes I was taking. I went home that summer. My dad wasn't doing all that well, but I really wasn't sure what was kind of going on. Came back to school that following August. Things were going pretty good. I started on the bowling team, was doing that kind of stuff. And then he passed away in November. And that for me was, I mean, you talk about a lot of challenges right off the bat, right, as a freshman. And I had a lot of different choices on whether I was gonna go home or whether I was gonna stay here. But I chose to stick it out and chose to make it, figure out I knew that's what my dad would want. And so I finished my degree. While I was here, I was a management student. I actually double majored. I was management and human resource management. And I was that student similar to kind of what Dylan talked about, in that I had heard of career services and I had seen a few of there were career development coordinators at that time. They had come to some of my classroom presentations to talk about, here's what we do, here's why you should utilize us. But I was that student that never went into the career center. And as a management major, I came to school to bowl. That was I wanted my degree, but bowling was what I was passionate about, what I cared about. And I was like, I'm gonna go out on tour when I graduate. I'm gonna be a professional bowler. That's what I'm gonna do. And then my junior year, the women's professional bowling tour actually folded. There was no more tour. Sponsorships were gone. And so I was that student that was like, well, crap, now what? What am I gonna do? My whole life I've been thinking I'm gonna be a professional bowler. Now it's my junior year of college and I have no idea what I wanna do with my life. And management is so broad and there's so many different things that you can do that I was really lost as to what that might even be. So I didn't explore my options. I really didn't have those career conversations. I didn't go visit my career advisor. I really didn't talk to anybody about it. And then I graduated, and then I was that student of, okay, well now what? I remember sitting in the union thinking, well gosh, I graduate in 5 days and I don't have a job. And I had my mom saying, okay, if you want to stay in Warrensburg, you're going to have to figure this out, right? Now, luckily, I did have a connection with the bowling coach here that knew somebody, and I ended up starting as an office professional here at the university, and I decided to go ahead and do that. But it's not necessarily what I wanted to do right after post-graduation, and it took me about 4 years or so to really figure out what I was good at, what I wanted to do, where I kind of saw myself career-wise. Whereas if I would have started having some of those conversations earlier, I probably wouldn't have spent so much time after graduation trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I've been at the institution. I started my undergraduate degree in 2000, graduated in 2004, started in a different department in 2004. I actually worked there 4 years. Before then I started in the Career Services Center in 2008, and I've been there ever since. I love the Career Services Center. I love UCM. I love what we do with students. I cannot encourage you guys enough. You've got to get to know your career advisor, okay? It's more than just coming in and meeting them for 30 minutes and hoping that they're gonna figure out and solve all your problems and issues as you start thinking about internships and resumes and interviewing and full-time jobs and graduate and professional school prep, right? It's about building relationships. I can guarantee you, if you guys build relationships with your career advisor, whether it's Dylan, whether it's Jessica, or whether it's Sarah Kavanaugh, who's our other career advisor in our office, they will stay in touch with you about opportunities that are coming through the door. I mean, we do a good job of making sure that all students are aware of the opportunities, but if you've built that personal connection, you'll get that personal email from these guys saying, hey, I know your career goals, this came across my desk today, I just had this conversation with this employer, you need to go check it out. And so, you know, when Dylan was kind of talking about you guys meeting us halfway, that's that halfway. That's being able to build those relationships, okay? I can't stress that enough. I didn't take advantage of it as a student. I should have, and I waited, and you know, as a result, it took me a little bit longer to figure out where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. So I know we don't have a ton of time, we're probably even over a little bit, but I'll open it up to you guys for what questions you might have for any one of us. But just know that we're a resource, and we're here to help you, and you know, like Chris Begg said, you're paying for it. Come use it. It's a free service. This is part of your tuition, and you can even utilize us after graduation as an alum. Okay, we're here to help you and be a resource for you. So questions? I'll turn it over to you guys for, yes.
How do you get that career class?
Yeah, you just register just like a normal class. I would probably do it in the spring as of now, because we're already 2 weeks in. I know we had a student today that we are able to get in, but we have to like specially like let them in, since we're 2 weeks in. But we offer it every fall and spring, so you can take it at any time whenever you feel like it's best for you and your own personal situation. Some students take it sophomore, junior year to prep them for an internship. Some people take it senior year to prep them for a job.
Yeah.
Some people take it freshman year just because they just have no idea where to even start with their career development. So it just varies from student to student what's best for them.
Yeah.
But you just sign up just like a normal class through my central or schedule planner.
And if you need help, we'll definitely help you find it.
Yep.
You know, you can come reach out to us for sure.
Good question. Any other questions for us? Yep.
Where's the career service building at?
Ward Edwards 1200. So it's right in between admissions and financial aid. So most likely you've probably been to one of those places where nuzzled
in the
right there
middle.
between.
Right between them.
Where the PB&J
That's right.
for the sandwich.
Like that. Anything else?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
How do you find out like who your advisor is?
A couple different ways. One, you could just reach out to us and we could tell you, and it's just based by major. So like right now, what was your major?
Psychology.
Psychology. Okay, so that's
It's
Sarah,
Sarah.
right? So your career advisor is Sarah Kavanaugh. We have these cheat sheets that have everything broken down. So if you'd like to approach us after this, like we're getting ready to go, but like we have time to answer quick questions. If you just want to reach out to us via email, we can be like, yeah, so I'm your career advisor or not. Real quick, just to run it down, so I do nursing before y'all move up to Lee Summit. So I'm nursing School of Natural Sciences, so that's ag, biology, chemistry, geoscience, physics, and safety, and then both of the business schools at Harmon College. So that's econ, finance, sport management, all the different things nestled in the business schools. So that's kind of me.
And I have a School of Aviation, so anything like professional pilot, airport management, any of that. I have the School of Communication, History, and Interdisciplinary Studies, so history majors, anthropology, communication studies, digital media. I have social sciences and languages, so political science, international studies, any modern languages. I have School of Public Service, which is like CJ, Crisis and Disaster Management. I have School of Human Services, which is like CFD, social work.
Right.
I don't know, and then I'm missing one more. Well, I don't know.
Public service? You already did public service.
School of Technology,
Oh, yes.
so engineering tech, construction management,
Design,
drafting and design,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
And then Sarah Kavanaugh in our office, she serves all education. So if you're an education major, she would be your person. She also has School of Visual and Performing Arts, School of English and Philosophy,
computer science.
Oh, yeah,
and
mathematics
math.
and computer science.
and nutrition, kinesiology. and
Nutrition,
psychological
kinesiology,
sciences.
yeah.
So from that rundown, anybody still not sure who their
Yeah.
person is? Yeah, what was your major?
Fashion.
It was me, they're in school tech.
Yeah.
So I got you.
Yeah.
I'm in person.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Any
Anything
other
else
questions?
before we wrap up?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
that
like
was
the
great.
biggest turnout
Yeah.
I've
And
ever
great,
had.
I mean, you guys, that's really great.
Extra workshops.
Thank you so much.
Great
Yeah.
questions.
And I'll say this to